All right, so at the request of one of my students, they want me to do a chipping video specific just on chipping. So what's relevant is we're still going to go over ball flight 1, 2, 3, and 4, especially angle of approach. I think the most common thing I see with my students is they don't put the club wherever their low point ends up. A lot of them will come in and have a wide stance, and they'll have the ball way up forward, and their low point will actually be inside their right toe, and then they'll try to get up there. So for me, that's the common thing, is angle of approach and discovering your own low point is probably the most important thing. And then, you know, for my preference, I like to still stay in good tempo, timing, rhythm, what's consistent for me. I've got my 3 different wedges I'll use. I'll try to keep that same rhythm as a baseline, and then use the different wedges for the ball to fly further and get different roll points. And then pretty much, you know, I like to feel, and this is a preference of mine, kind of like a Steve Stricker, I like to feel that connection in the armpits and extension of the arms. The less moving parts you have, the better chance you have to consistently get that club in that spot there. So I'll hit a few. My low point I know is on my right toe. And then this is square face too. So this is my 64-degree square faced. And then my routine is I'll hit 3 every day with each. So that's square. I'll hit 3 with that. Okay, so that was with the 64-degree, which goes 5 to 7 yards a carry and rolls out probably 10 or 15 feet. So now I'm going to go to the 58-degree, and it's going to go around 10 yards a carry, but it's probably going to roll about 15 feet on just standard conditions. Now, of course, you got to feel it out and the conditions and the lie and everything, but same thing. I'm extended, connected, staying in that same good tempo and rhythm. See if I can make one for the camera. All right, so we're still on this third one with straight faced. Some, like say, open faced, and I'm especially gonna feel just a slight open, and my low point's still all around this right toe. I mean, if I'm trying to hit a really soft shot, we're gonna move the ball position up, and that's going to be on an entirely different video, but we're going to keep it right here. Now we've got the face slightly open, and we're continuing with that. I mean, just notice that it's not grabbing at all, so it's got a nice little bounce. It gives you a little more forgiveness. It's actually a fairly tight lie here too. You can see the sand around it because they just punched everything here. So one of my preferences is that I like to keep my weight stable. I don't like it forward. I know a lot of pros will say that, but I find it makes my club dig in, and I want to basically, you know, as much bottoming out at 0 degrees as possible. Where we're going to get more weight forward, so we have a slightly steeper angle of approach is in the bunker, and that's going to be on a separate video where I show you the bunker shot and the soft flop shot. But now, you know, I'm going the 54, and this thing rolls out, I don't know, it goes around 15 yards carry, rolls out a little more. So that's kind of the shots around the green. One of the things I always tell my student is my kind of rule of thumb is 3 paces. Notice I do a lot of things in 3s, man. But if I'm more than 3 paces, 9 feet off the green, probably always going to chip it. But if I'm in that range and it's short, tighter mode grass, I'm gonna putt it. It's just, you know, your miss is always gonna be better with the putter just in case. So that's kind of my own preference and rule of thumb for myself, is about right around 3 paces. All right, so this is gonna go a little lower, a little further, and roll out a little more. And that one's, nope, that's not in. I don't think I'm gonna, maybe I'll get one of these to go in. And that's my practice routine. I'll hit 3 with each one, making sure I make good contact. So these are straight faced. I'll do 3 straight, 3 open, and then after I go and do the bunker, I'll finish back with chipping again and try to make one. And that one's pretty close. All right, so now I'm going to open the face up a little bit, and you'll see that bounce a little. Oh, trying to make one. Nope. So that's pretty much it. Work on that. And just find your own rhythm and your low point. Just go back and forth without a ball. And that'll help you find your low point. And just notice wherever your club comes. Just notice wherever your club comes down. Like say mine is kind of right in this range. So that's just basic chipping. I'm sure that will help you out a little bit. You still want center contact, good angle of approach. Now we're in the bunker, and I'm talking about angle of approach and low point still. The best drill, we still need to know what our low point is, but now the only thing we're doing a little different is now I get some weight on this left foot. So when I first get in there, I just kind of get that left foot in, and I don't even worry about the right foot, and it automatically gets my weight in there so that I've got a little steeper angle of approach. And you know, here I am gonna open the face so that it doesn't dig. So the face is just slightly open. You don't have to go crazy with it, but now you just gotta find your low point. And you don't even need a ball. I'll have all my students do this. Just kind of go back and forth, figuring out where their low point is. Notice mine's still right inside my right toe. So my ball position is then going to be, you know, like they say, we want to hit it a couple inches behind it. So then my ball position is going to be probably just a little inside, because this is going to be my low point, and I've got this foot in. There's kind of the secret for me, and then I'm just pulling down and sliding it under. So, you know, still this is more like a lot of the lead arm drill stuff I show, where the lead arm's going parallel to the ground and pulling down. The only difference in the lead arm drill, the lead arm pulls down and there's some release. So here I am holding it off. So I am holding off, and I'm just pulling down, and I'm holding the release, keeping the club face to the sky. So I'll hit this one. So we're slightly on that side. And that's my 64. So I'll go in between, same thing. I try to keep that same tempo timing rhythm. And now I'll go to the 58. And that 58 will carry a little further, but same thing, I'm keeping that same tempo timing rhythm. I know what my low point is, so that ball moves up a couple inches. I've got that weight on that side to slide the club under. That one's going to go out a little further, and now I'll go to the 54. Now we're going to go over what I would call the controlled flop. The reason I say it's controlled is it's more like still lead arm parallel, getting that tempo timing rhythm, and it's just sliding under. There's not a lot of face rotation. If you want to hit the power flop shot, you're going to need to have the handle go way ahead. when you can hit that one too, it's really inconsistent, and I don't hit it that often unless really had to. So this doesn't have a tremendous amount of face rotation, and it's just right there. Now I'll give Team TaylorMade some credit here, because it's the high toe wedge 64, man, makes my life easy. I have 5 wedges, so my bag goes 5 iron up. I have a 2 iron. I don't have a 3 and a 4 iron because the way my gaps are. So I have 8 wedge, P wedge, and then I have 54, 58, 64. So, but still, I'll even hit one with the 58 for you. But we're just going to take it down, same thing, slide the club under. When this goes about parallel to the ground, it goes for me about 20 yards. That was about a 15-yarder, that first flag. So I kind of always know, so that's just a little less. Now if I want to get it all the way to the back, to that back flag, I'll take it back a little further. A pretty soft shot. If I had to go over a bunker or something, I kind of at least know, hey, it's going to fly that far. That's the thing with the flop shot, is it's very inconsistent how far you're going to fly it. So I'm going to take it back a little less. Let's see, is it going to go in on camera? Oh, come on, man. All right. Now we'll go that back one, and just a little further on the length of the swing. But I'm just sliding the club under. All right, I'll show some face-on view as well, and I'll hit a couple with the 58. Okay, so this face-on view will give you how much I'm going to open the face. I'm not completely laying it open like a spatula, but just about that much. And the other key here is you lay the face open and then you grip it. So a lot of my students they'll try to open it like that. So you got to lay it open, then grip it. And here, like I talked about in the bunker, on this shot, I do want a slight descending angle of approach. So I am just going to feel a little bit on the left foot. And you'll notice the ball position, even though my low point is kind of back here inside the right toe, I've got it more to the left toe, and I'm just letting it slide under. I'm not even worried about hitting the ball. So face open, then grab it, and then lead arm about parallel, and then just slide it under. I want it to go a little further. We'll take it back a little further, a little more speed to that second flag. Try open it up a little more. So there you have it, what I would say, more of that controlled flop. We're controlling distance with how long the lead arm travels. So it's that arc length. We're staying in that same tempo timing rhythm. We're controlling club face angle. We open it, then grip it. We're controlling angle of approach, weight slightly forward, and then we're just sliding it under. It's actually a pretty easy shot once you get used to it, because you don't even have to be very precise for solid contact, because you're just sliding it right under there. So we talked about speed training. That's all great, but we got to talk about tempo, timing, rhythm, which is truly most important when you're actually out playing, is to stay in good tempo, timing, rhythm, staying in good posture with good spine angle. So the other tools I use are the lag shot in order to work on that. So once I've done my complete warm-up drill, then I'll finish off on a different day than speed training. I have the 7-iron and the driver on the lag shot. And I'll do 3 sets of 3 again. I'm going to hit like 3 7-irons of the lag shot, then 3 drivers, then 3 7-irons to really work on tempo. So I'll take a few practice swings. If you've never seen this club before, man, it's really whippy. So you gotta really take it back nice and smooth. You can't rush that takeaway. So now we're working on tempo training with the lag shot 7-iron. Here we go, I'll hit 3. Really focusing on smooth rhythm in transition. Not bad. And the club lags behind. Obviously, it's called the lag shot. So you still have that lag angle in place. All right. So as you can see, really working on rhythm. Nice, smooth takeaway, smooth tempo timing rhythm here, and stable posture. All right. Now we're going to the drive. So you can really stretch it. But you can still hit balls with it, which is pretty cool. I like the orange whips, but I like these too because more about the rhythm for me, and then you can hit balls with them. I like using both. I'm still going to give it a good rip. Not bad. You can see that club trail behind there. Still on principle 9, club head lag. That lag is created with that downforce pull, which is why I have a lot of my students doing that lead arm drill, getting used to the lead arm pulling down, keeping the lag angle in place, and then back of the left wrist rolling over through impact. All right, hit this one. That was pretty good rhythm, pretty smooth. Off with the 7-iron, and that will be my tempo training for the day. All right. Now let's go back to this 7-iron. Really rhythm, smooth rhythm in transition. Think of Freddie and Ernie. Freddie Couples, Ernie Els rhythm. All right. Feeling pretty smooth today. Smooth as silk protein milk, baby. Which is my morning first meal. I'm going to hit one more. But we're working on that rhythm. There we go. That one was pure. That's the one to finish on. That was strike too. All right, so lag shot, tempo timing rhythm, principle 9, club head lag, stable posture, principle 1, stable spine angle, direct correlation with center contact. All right, so I let you know that I'd be telling you some of the secrets. This one is about putting under pressure. So what we're going to do is, I have the balls lined up. We got to make all 4 from 3 feet, 3 out of 4 from 6 feet, and then 2 out of 9 from 6 feet to advance. So there is a pressure component. But the other thing, here's the little secret. We're going to swing that orange whip, get our heart rate up, and then putt them out. So here we go. My heart rate is up now. I'm going to go through the full routine like I would take my practice strokes. See if I can get through this on video. I'll keep it real. All right, made that one. My heart rate is up. And you got to putt them out, so you can't just ram them in. I try to hit everything with a 1 foot by pace. Now we're at 6 feet. You'll notice I have the board set up. I do like using that board. I'll do a whole nother video on that board and how to use it. But I always like to make sure I hit every other day. And when I do this drill from 6 feet, that putt, just to make sure my alignment is good, path and face and all that. So, all right, we're gonna swing that orange whip again. I think that's what a lot of people are confused with. Adrenaline and pressure. Everybody feels adrenaline, pressure, whatever. You gotta avoid it, you gotta embrace it. It means you're in it, you're psyched. You're just learning how to slow your breathing, but it's still up. And you're just learning how to perform with it. So that's what we're simulating. All right, we're on 6 feet. Balls are lined up. I gotta make 3 out of 4 to advance. Whew. Heart rate's up. Okay. See if I can make this one. If I 3-putt, I gotta start over. All right, I made it. I don't want to start over. All right, I gotta make this one. Advance. This will be my 3rd one. I should make this one the board's lined up, hopefully. All right, so now we're at the last part of the drill. Now we're on 9 feet. So what are the PGA Tour averages? So 3 feet, about 98%. From around 5 or 6 feet, around 50%. 9 to 10 feet. 9 to 10 feet is about 50%. 5 to 6 feet is about 75%. So I think that's part of it. We all put too high of expectations on ourselves. All right, so we're going to swing the orange whip and get our heart rate. 2 out of 4 from 9 feet to finish. Go through the routine. My heart rate is up. Here we go. See if I make 2 out of 9 from 10 feet. All right, I hammered that one. Let's keep going. See, my heart rate's up and my adrenaline's going. That's why I hit that one so hard. I got to get it back here. But if you don't practice under those circumstances, you don't get used to it. You have to practice under pressure. And of course, now I'm going to have to start the drill all over again. So I might be here all day. But for you tournament players, before your tournament event, you got to simulate pressure. That was a little better. Now from here, we're going to continue. And now we're going to go 12, 15, 18, 20 feet. And then we're going to go 20, 30, 40, 50 feet. And you still got to putt everything out. You can't 3-putt. All right, we're continuing the drill. We're now going 12 feet, 15 feet, 18 feet, 21 feet. And the goal here is just to 2-putt them all. Hey, if you make 1 or 2, awesome. But a foot by pace is the goal. Now notice, I'll be on the fringe when I swing this. So if you're doing this drill, make sure you're on the fringe and not on the green so you don't drive your greenskeeper mad. We don't want to screw the greens up. Heart rate's up. I got the balls lined up. So I'm trying to stay calm, trying to slow my breathing. All right, let's see how we do. Trying to stay in good tempo timing rhythm the whole time. Yeah, that one went about 2 feet by. Had a chance though, it was looking. Probably make that next one. There we go. Oh, flipped out. All right. Only a foot by though. That one had a chance too. Hit the hole. Still kind of breathing. Keep my heart rate. I'm just focusing on my rhythm. Watching the ball, tempo, timing, rhythm. Not bad. About a foot. Now I'm basically 21 feet, 20 footer. It's going to go by a little. Not too bad. Got to putt these out. I want to start over. Whew. All right. So good. No 3 whacks. Now we're going to go 30, 40, 50, 60 feet. No 3 putts. See if we can 2-putt them all. Let's go. 30, 40, 50, 60 feet. And we're uphill and left to right. Notice on the other ones, 12, 15, 18, 21, we're downhill and right to left. So I try to do the opposite on these. If it's flat, left to right or right to left, I'll do the opposite. Rates up enough. Now, speed and distance control is another practice routine that we do, but I'm using those principles now that we're so far. I'm really feeling arc width of the putting stroke, focused on tempo, timing, rhythm, really looking at the hole for a couple seconds, trying to get a feel for it, and then go. Today, so putting under pressure, getting the heart rate up, and man, look at this day, October in Reno, Nevada. You saw the city in the background. The clubhouses, everything's done up here now under this $50 million renovation. Arrow Creek, the place is unbelievable. Today we're going to talk about ball flight law number 1, 2, 3, 4, center of the club face position, club path, and angle of approach. We're going to discuss principle 1, 3, 4, and 11. So principle 1, setup, and what I feel and what most teachers will agree upon is spine angle stability is a direct correlation to center contact. In addition, we're going to talk about width, which is basically how far your hand travels away from your center line. So somebody may say, oh, I'm turning, and all they're doing is turning and driving the club inside with no width. We're also going to talk about length of swing. A lot of my students will say, hey, how far should I be taking this back? And I use the analogy of John Rahm gets it back to about right here and rips it, and Bailey takes it all the way there and rips it. So length of swing is an individual blueprint based pretty much on what your body and your range of motion will allow. And you can kind of, I've found with a lot of my students, I can test their mobility in their lead shoulder just by standing in that position where your lead arm is out. You can take your right arm and pull it back and see as far back as you can go. And that's going to be about your range of motion without doing additional stretches or exercises. And then we'll talk about P11, back of the left wrist or impact. So that's a direct correlation on club face angle control. So wherever this back of the left wrist goes, that's where the club face goes. And everybody talks about that impact position. So We'll go ahead and do that. I'll hit a couple, demonstrate right here. So this is an 8-iron. So I've been working quite a bit on my own extension there and my own tempo timing rhythm, trying to make sure I'm staying smooth there as well. So let's hit another one here. I also want to always feel like I'm incorporating that kinematic sequence of lead hip clears, center line follows, lead arm, then trail arm and club follow down the target line. So basically, as far as center contact, if your head is moving a lot up and down, that's the worst thing we want here as teachers is head down. You want head stable. So if I'm coming in impact and I'm dipping down, then I'm going to change my angle of approach. And then on this angle, if I'm moving too far off and too far this way, I'm changing my angle of approach. And it's hard to get that low point control and be consistent with that low point. So that setup is important. So you want to feel like you're in a good athletic position with enough spine tilt. And then we just want to turn around our spine angle and stay as stable as possible. I like to use the word stable, not locked in, because it's still an athletic motion and there's still a little bit of movement going on. But a good way, to keep that is to keep that chin up. That allows your lead shoulder to get under your chin. And so that's one of the things we talk about with my students. They're like, oh man, I'll keep my head down. I'm like, but you don't want to keep your head down, because then if your head's down, it's hard to make a full shoulder turn there. And the other thing you'll notice, now we'll go to arc width. So the easiest way to feel this is just take this lead arm down the target line, and now you've got that width. And notice, now I've got width, and as that lead arm goes down the target line, it's almost an automatic full shoulder turn. So then the momentum just simply carries us further into that full turn with that. And then, like I say, the length of your swing will be determined by your own physical limitations and capabilities. Now, the biggest item that's important for club face control and getting that club face angle is that lead arm drill, where you get used to the lead arm pulls down, the lead hip clears, the center line covers, and then you're right in that square position, and then the trail arm and club extend down the target line in that kinematic sequence of hip, chest, lead arm, trail arm, club. So one of the best exercises or stretches that you can do, and you can refer to the TPI exercise video that will be queued up next, is the shoulder stretch. So you're on the TRX, and you're just getting as much stretch and range of motion there as possible. If you don't have a TRX in your gym, you can go to a high pulley and put a lot of weight on the weight stack so it doesn't move, and just grab one of those handles and stretch in that position. You can also do that in a door jamb at your house. You can just grab the door jamb and stretch and lean there. And that really starts to help you get that feeling of that whip piece. And then building up that lead arm along with that back or left wrist principle. So work on that, and that is in direct correlation with how that correlates still with club face angle, that back of the left wrist, and then along with center contact with stable on the spine. All right. So I referenced in that piece the lead arm drill having a pretty good correlation to principle 11, back of the lead wrist at impact. So basically, there's a video on this drill, but just to summarize it quickly, I like to use my most lofted wedge, 60 degree or something along those lines, 60, 56, it's the shortest club and it has the heaviest swing weight, so it just drops right into place. So basically all you're doing is getting into that setup position and taking that lead arm back to where it's parallel to the ground, letting that natural hinge take place, that lever system, which is principle 5, and then you're feeling it, this downforce pull keeps that lag angle in place, and then the back of the left wrist is rotating for impact. This is very helpful for the over-the-top motion, because if you're doing this lead arm drill, it's kind of hard to go over the top with it. It hurts your shoulder. It naturally makes you, the weight of the club makes it drop down. So if you're struggling with that over-the-top move also, this is just a great drill because it builds that lead arm piece. And that keeps you on path as well. So add this lead arm drill in, and that will give you that correlation of back of left wrist squaring up the club face. Stay on it. Come on. Woo. All right. Get up. No, no. 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 Better for a while. Come on. There we go. There we go. Oh, come on. Go. Go. Oh. I'm going to bumper. Draw. Draw. Go. Come back. Come back. Come back. Down. 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 Spin. Oh, come on. Really? Stop. Stop. kidding me? Get out of here. No. Never get close. All right. No, covers. Cover. Go. Sit. Spin. Stop. Be close. All right, birdie. Go into the trees. Oh, come on. Spin. Oh, shit. Be good, baby. Sit. Be good. All right. Sit. Go. Go. Not a birdie, but I'll take a par. Tree. Don't hit the tree, fucker. Oh, that had a ton of hook on it. No way. Go, come on. Well, and that was the end of that bogey. Come back. Come on. Come on. There we go. Get out. Get out. Down. Down. Woo. Better off with those trees. Yeah. Come on. Come on. Go. Oh, you. Oh. Stay. Stay there. Stay there. Down. Down. Oh, come on. Stop. Ah, come on. going to go into some more Titleist TPI specific movement. And Titleist TPI teaches all about upper body, lower body disassociation. So as much rotation in shoulder turn without too much hip, and vice versa. So we're going to show upper body, lower body disassociation, a couple ways to do this. So we're going to disassociate upper body with lower body, so stabilizing lower body, and then just do these turns, about 10 reps on each side, and you're getting a little bit of shoulder in. This is only about 4 pounds, so you can do this with a golf club or whatever at home. Get that, and then the opposite side. So the lower body's pretty stabilized while we're rotating the upper body here. And another way you can do this is seated. I like doing that because the arms are out here and it seems to give me more range of motion. And you can do a weighted bar behind the back. If you put it behind your back, don't put it on your neck bone there, just put it kind of on your trap muscles. This one is one of the tests in TPI to see how far you can go with your range of motion. So you can go back and forth, seated twists, get as much range of motion, and if you're a right-handed golfer, of course, you're trying to push this range of motion right here to where you get your back at the target without the hips rotating. So then you've got that. Keep going back and forth on that one. And then lower body disassociation is keeping the upper body stable. So you can grab a wall, a bar, anything. For these purposes, I'll put this here. It's just getting that hip over as much as possible. These are called stork turns. And you're just kind of, and they call them Heisman also. So you're kicking that hip over as much as possible. Not everybody has a wobble board. I'll show you in another video using a wobble board. And heart rate's still kind of getting up a little while we're stretching. So those are the two for upper body and lower body disassociation, to create more range of motion and full shoulder turn, along with stretching for as much arc width and extension as possible. Are these stretches with the TRX. So here, I'll stretch each arm, like 3 count yoga breaths, just, yeah, if you're nervous on the first tee or whatever, you take those deep breaths. So you're getting chest, stretch back. Here's the key, is getting as much stretch on this trail arm as possible, and then we'll do the lead arm through impact. So you're really stretching the shoulder out and increasing that range of motion. Now I'll do the left arm. So same thing, chest, stretch back, and then possible with this lead arm down the target line. So I'll do that round, and then I'll do another 10 leg raises. Of course, I'm not going to do 10 today for the essence of time. Then I'll stretch here with both arms back and just kind of do some squats here, 10, 25 reps or so. And then we'll do the same thing. So I'll change arms. I'll do the left arm first this time. Get that stretch in chest, back, and then that rear delt there. Get chest again, get back, take those deep yoga breaths, and get that stretch. All right, so now we're gonna go over probably one of the best exercises for learning the muscle motor pattern of the kinematic sequence. So in Titleist TPI, the kinematic sequence to impact is pelvis, thorax, lead arm, trail arm, club. So basically it's lead hip, right-handed golfer, left glute's your friend. That left glute pulls back, the center line follows, the lead arm pulls into impact, then the last piece is trail arm and club follow. So we're gonna do these medicine ball throws, and I'm gonna throw them. These are actually pretty heavy, 14 and 2 16-pounders. But I'm gonna just try to keep my arms connected and extended, similar to the golf swing, and I'm not gonna throw my arms. I'm gonna try to use as much hip as possible and then just let the ball fall out there. And then I just do 3 of these a day now with these. And so we're gonna go back into our backswing and then full hip rotation through there. And we'll do them both directions. On the way back, I'll throw them like I'm a lefty golfer, just to stay in tune around both sides of the body. All right, so now I've thrown the medicine balls down this direction to this end of the fitness studio here. So now I'll just grab this 7.5. I recommend starting out with a 2.5 or a 5. And I'm still training sequence. Now I'm training both arms for also extension. So the trail arm in the swing activates right about when the club is parallel to the ground and extends through impact. So I've kind of got this in my golf grip. I've used the kettlebells, but I like just a regular dumbbell better because it's more like gripping a club. So I'm just gonna let my trail arm come to about that level, and then I'm gonna extend it through. But notice I'm still working on kinematic sequence. So I'm here, so it's lead hip, chest, and then this arm, trail arm's coming through. And I'm trying to get as much extension down the target line as possible and feeling that trail hand extend down. I'm staying in posture too. Now the lead arm, I'll grip the dumbbell kind of like the club, but I'm really trying to build strength in these 3 fingers. And with a lot of my students, they tend to let the grip, especially the beginning students, slide into the palm. The great thing about doing this with the dumbbell is you can't put it in the palm, so you have to build strength in these 3 fingers, and that palm pad there is how your grip should be. So I'll take the thumb off to build strength so that I can keep that strength piece there. Now, same thing in the sequence, but now I'm trying to get as much extension and width as possible on this backswing. And this really trains your backswing. And this accelerates that motor pattern of that backswing. And we'll get into posture too. I'm still trying to stay in sequence. So I want that good posture, good spine angle, bending from the waist here, and going down the target line. And I'll do about 10 of these. So I'm done there. Now I'll throw the medicine balls back the other way. As a left-handed golfer, bilateral training, keeping balanced here. So my lefty swing isn't as good and coordinated, obviously. But now if I'm a lefty, I'm trying to feel this lead side, so right glute pulling back. And it's the lead side pulling motion that you have to learn. We don't want trail side pushing because that can cause some tilt. So we want the lead side pulling through impact. So that's medicine ball back the other direction. And then kind of that dumbbell swing, still simulating that movement with trail arm lead. So now I'm gonna get some ab crunches. Here we go. On the ball. Try to do 25 of these. Sometimes I'll do them slower, contract. Sometimes I'll do things faster, just trying to change that rep speed. So go from the crunches there into what we call dolphin kicks. So on the stomach here, and this is getting that lower back, and it's like a handstand push-up. Just kind of kicking up. Lower back strength. These will get you. Be careful. Yeah, be careful when you first do those, or if you first start doing those. You can just do them on the mat and just barely do it. And then I'll really stretch forearms out here. Kind of calming the breath too. So we'll stretch this way, hands down. Then I'll put the palms up. Nice little stretch. And then side to side, stretching those forearms out really helps. Kind of the same thing on each of these stretches. For time purposes, trying to get 3 yoga breaths in on each one. So then I'll go from there to some more lying leg raises this time. Just do a couple. Same thing here. I'll change up the rep speed. Sometimes I'll go a little faster. Sometimes I'll go for more peak contraction. Just whatever I'm feeling. Really getting the abs. You can get here and do a peak contraction and blow the air out as you contract. Allows you to contract the abs harder. And then you can go faster on the way down. So then from there, I'll go into some hip stretching and just lie here. Get that leg all the way over. 3 deep yoga breaths, trying to push this shoulder down, get as much stretch as possible. More stretch here, hip both directions. And then you can do this one, what they call a pigeon pose too. Stretch it out that piriformis muscle, which goes along the sciatica nerve. So that's pretty much it. So I'll do that rotation. I'll do my regular workout, and then I'll do that rotation after my workout every day, Monday through Friday. Pretty much take the weekends off, but I will stretch on the weekends. I'll still stretch because I have a kind of a TRX setup at home too. So I'll still always stretch shoulders both directions every day. I want to feel that range of motion stretch. So this probably takes me, I don't know, about 10 minutes total. Kind of a good way to cool down after the workout and make sure you maintain your flexibility for your golf game. So even though I'm still training, my regular workouts are more like maintenance mode now, so I don't go crazy anymore now that I'm 54. I'm just trying to maintain what I have, stay fit, stay strong, still keep some abs going. I have a 4-pack now, not a 6-pack. The 6-pack, too much nutrition. I like to eat whatever I want. So let's see here. So anyway, that's it. Good to go. All right, so now I'm back in the gym. So before I go into what we call our movement studio there in my gym to do all the stretching, I'll come to the high pulley here. And they have this nice extension that simulates a golf club. And then I'll do with the rope, you can either use the rope for a pull down or one of the handles. But this also simulates the Titleist TPI Kinematic sequence, where we want to use our hip, then the center line, and the arm is pulling. So my arm is going to stay locked under my chin, and the only thing that's going to be moving is going to be the lead hip on both sides. So when I first show students this, they want to pull with their arms. So I'll get in and demonstrate here. So, and this is 32 pounds, so it's not light, but start out with like 10 pounds as you build up to this, and then we'll get there. So right now we're gonna keep the shoulder locked and we're only using the hip to pull. So this is the high rope pull, only using hip. So you're just using the hip. Now right about here, the lead arm does separate. But the thing is we're not just pulling with our arms. The arms are extended back. So back in the TPI kinematic sequence, lead hip pulls. So I'll do about 10